Today I want to talk with you about Virgin Galactic stock versus Nikola stock. While they seems to have a lot of things in common, they are totally different in the core. The one, in my personal opinion, is totally overvalued. The other one is totally undervalued. We will talk about the IPO, the merger, the revenue, the reservations, the market cap, and so many other things. So stay tuned and let's go. Do you remember the feeling when the first time you smashed that purchase button for your first stock? It was a brilliant feeling, wasn't it? To be a part of a company, to be a shareholder. And I want you to absolutely, with the same passionate, to smash that like button on this video if you are appreciating the hours of research that going into these videos. I want to dive directly into it. We will talk about first the IPO. So both companies, Nikola as well as Virgin Galactic, had both of the same type of IPO. The brand new or the newer version of what is currently in the hedge fund world very trendy, a reversed merger. This is when a venture capital company decides to open and make an IPO, and then they look on the markets which privately held companies are very interesting to bring to the public market, and they hope that overall the stocks rise, and then the investment of the hedge fund is going higher and higher. Now let's have a look. What did Nikola? Nikola started with the merger or reverse merger 2020 with the company Vector Q Acquisition Corporation. On the other side, we had Virgin Galactic already many years in the private market, went to a merger 2019 with social capital head to Sofia, which was established by Shamas. We will talk about Shamas a little bit later. So let's talk about the valuation of both companies, which we will discuss in the last part of this vlog. Need to be understood by both companies are not having sales right now. They have zero revenue. Now, before you're diving into it, yeah, they have reservations. Exactly. We will talk about the reservation because in these young stages of the companies, they are still working on the products. And for working on the products, they are both, worth already multi-billion dollars. And if you are looking why they are worth that much, this is the big question, if one of those companies is maybe over or undervalued. Now let's dive into the reservations. While Nikola claims to have 14,000 reservations, we know for a fact that Virgin Galactic has 600 reservations. And not only reservation, guys, almost fully contracted, fully deposit reservations. Moreover, they have 9,000 people that expressed interest to become a private astronaut. Now, while the one company, Nikola, is really hard or actually not possible for them to show how much money they got through the reservation because we assume that it's zero. We know that according to my research, we have already at Virgin Galactic about $6 million gained through reservations in the bank, guys. Okay, so this is important. Moreover, you need to look into the future business. If you have these reservations, people like to go and multiply this by the numbers of pricing for the products. In Nikola cases, it's the next future semi-truck. For Virgin Galactic, it's a space ticket. Now for Nikola, this is the 10 billion future sales model, and on the other side, Virgin Galactic has about 2.7 billion in sales with these reservations. Now, from the reservations and future sales perspective, I would say that Virgin Galactic has the head because they already gained some money out of it, and Nikola's real reservations are just opening on Monday. So when you watching this vlog, maybe you have more information as of this recording. Let's jump to the next sections. One of the most important part, if I look into investments, I look into the management teams. I look into founders still being on board. I look who is on the management team, who is the chairman of the board. And if you are looking into those things, you have Trevor Milton at the focus point at Nikola as a chairman, executive chairman. And I believe that since he has some experience from the sustainable front, he worked for some natural gas company before, then going now into a totally new segment is definitely a challenge, okay? So we should see, without any preconception, let's give the guy a chance, okay? Let's give a guy a chance. Now then we have Mark Russell, who is the CEO of the whole thing, and he comes from another CEO position at a steel industry company on the stock market. So he definitely knows how to work on public markets. So I give this a pass, though I'm really, looking forward to what this team can deliver. And on the other side, let's talk about Virgin Galactic's management. And as you see, I'm smiling because this team is just absolutely fantastic. So we have Shamas. He built AOL. He built together with teams Facebook, right? He made Facebook a success with Mark Zuckerberg, and now he is on the board chairman and also one of the main investors of Virgin Galactic. So he put privately from his pocket $100 million into Virgin Galactic. So he definitely thinks that this will work out, and if you look into his interviews, he's very convinced. Then you have, one of the biggest and best entrepreneurs from Europe, Richard Branson, who has so much experience. He is a marketing genius. He created so many successful and also unsuccessful companies, so he knows also what doesn't work. And then we have also George Whiteside, who was chief of staff at NASA, so already coming from the space industry. He brings a lot of experience, and we saw what he can bring to the table. Already 2 space agreements with NASA, which absolutely will help Virgin Galactic into the future. And if you weight this against each other, again, I would say a second point for Virgin Galactic here into the management team. Let's also dive into the next one, which is competition. Now, competition can be quite hard in some industries, and I believe that the electric car competition is getting harder and harder, guys. Back then, like 20 years almost back, when Tesla started, there was basically no competition, and that's why they could grow and develop something, show and build the industry with the Roadster, right? This was their Roadster. This was a very niche market to show the world that electric cars are sexy, they are fast, they can look good, right? So, and this is actually the big point for Nikola. Can they survive in an ocean full of sharks, with big sharks like VW or Mercedes that has, very big established, they are fighting now for innovation, or Tesla, the very fast shark that is basically eating every competition alive because it's faster than anybody else out there. And then we have obviously also Rivian, NIO, Workhorse. I don't need to continue. Maybe you know already some of the parts they are playing there. I believe that this is a huge competition field. Then let's move a little bit to the other direction. Virgin Galactic. Virgin Galactic, if they are flying people, and they are so close, guys, okay, so close, to space in just a couple of months, they are the only company in the whole world, until somebody will catch up and offer a similar service. But the services are so unique, then every company and every competitor has a totally different experience. So let's break it down a little bit. So you have SpaceX. SpaceX is a fantastic company, very, very hard working. We know Elon Musk, and he can eat competition. Now, their overall vision is to bring people to Mars. So the product of putting satellites out there, putting people or with hypersonic flights, it's just a byproduct to fund the mission for Mars. So Google it. This is not what I'm thinking. This is the fact. I said it many times. They need to fund it by different side projects to make Mars reality. So on the other side, you have Blue Origin. Blue Origin is also using reusable rockets and want to bring people up to the moon and to the orbit. So you have really different approaches to that. So I believe that Virgin Galactic is the closest one that you can go into the space as a tourist, and then you are having maybe a couple of years until the first hypersonic flight of SpaceX will really take off. So Virgin Galactic has many years time to develop, to go into hypersonic flights and so on and so forth. So I believe that also Blue Origin will need a couple of years more until they can really show and deliver the experience that they are advertising on their website. There's just the 3 guys, you know, that are fighting about, and each of them have a different experience, you know, so it's really interesting to see how this further works. So we have the space tourism that is a niche product, right? Maybe the best experience that you can get for money. So also competition point 3-0 for Virgin Galactic. So knowing all this now, with the conclusions, we are diving into the market cap. According to current status, Nikola is having 25 billion market cap versus $3.25 billion mark. Now, I want to ask you a very simple question, guys. How you explain the almost 10 times more valuation from Nikola against Virgin Galactic? With all what we have new now in this vlog, this makes me smile because it's just funny, guys. I believe that Virgin Galactic has an unbelievable perspective and potential to absolutely blow up, guys. They have the better product, they have the better management, they have, you know, reservations for many years, they have just the better marketing, the better competition barriers, right? So many things are better, and still it's just 1/10 of Nikola. But let me show you something. Now you are saying, or some people are saying, well, Nikola is the next Tesla. Now, one of my very first videos here on YouTube was about Tesla versus Uber valuations. Look it up. I look like very young person. Indeed, I'm a young soul. So, so make sure to check this video out. I'm talking where I didn't understood that Tesla with $20 billion revenue has a market cap of $38 billion, and Uber by that time had, I think, $10 billion revenue and had a $80 billion market cap. And I was right. I said Tesla is absolutely undervalued under these conditions. So what happened? Tesla absolutely exploded. Now, I think that Nikola, in this perspective, you know, I know that the future is very important for the stock market, and the stock market is a tool to look into the future. But you cannot tell me that Nikola has the right valuation and the same valuation, or almost the same valuation, back for Tesla. They had already Model S running, supercharger network, gigafactories, 2 in the world. They had $20 billion in sales, guys, and they have a running energy business. So what we are talking here, the one for me is still a concept phase where we show some prototypes on some fancy stage, and the other one, Tesla, was already a huge running business and operation, guys. So if you're thinking, you know, that who is closer to the breakout, I'm also definitely thinking Virgin Galactic. They have already the infrastructure. Think about it into infrastructure purposes. What they need to operate, they need like a facility, right? So spaceport is already there, guys. They're having their spaceships. They are just making some tests and they are flying into space, okay? Nikola still has to build the first facility to build these vehicles in the first place. So let me know in the comments below what you think. But you know, I I made it pretty clear what I think about Nikola versus Virgin Galactic, and therefore more about Virgin Galactic here on Virgin Galactic Friday. Stay tuned and check out also the Wolf of Dubai membership. Maybe it's something for you. Just click the join button below, access to Discord chat and many other things. So I wish you the best and stay safe.